What's the hardest thing about losing weight? Is it counting calories? No. Is it making sure to eat nutrient-dense food, boiled potato and salad? What? Stop! Put this stuff away! It's not it! Delicious. What can it be? What is the single thing that prevents people consistently from losing weight? Hunger. Because it doesn't matter if you eat whole food or pizza. In these brains of yours lie mechanisms wired to make sure you don't starve today. And they will infect your mind until the only thing you can think of is releasing this hunger. So, how do we deal with it? Well, just trying to resist temptation is out of the question. A better way is to try to understand what mechanism makes you hungry and change the way you structure your diet to feel more full. But first of all, what is hunger? Hunger is a feeling modulated by hormone. You probably heard about leptin, ghrelin, or insulin, but as always in science, things are a little bit more complicated. So for this video, we will focus on leptin. Leptin is a hormone secreted by all of the fat cells in our body. The more fatty tissue you have, the more leptin you secrete. That says to your body, I don't need more energy, stop eating like a pork. This is a good feedback that ensures the energy level in your body stays roughly the same. Basic, right? This leptin carries out information to the brain, which will decide if we are hungry and how to react to it. The question is then, how does leptin influence those brain centers, or simply said, lipostat, neuroscience of hunger? The leptin your fat cells secrete reaches your brain and, more precisely, somewhere in your hypothalamus called the nucleus arcuate. This region can be separated in two centers. The MPY neuron, which secrete a neurohormone called, MPY, and the POMC neurons, which secrete obviously melanocortin. Well, that's because POMC has secreted. Oh, and screw it! As it turns out, leptin has two completely different effects when it reaches the MPY and POMC neurons. Leptin inhibits the secretion of MPY and stimulates the release of POMC. When it does so, hunger diminishes. But why? Study shows that injecting MPY in rat brains make them eat 10 times their calorie intake. That's like doing two 10,000 calorie challenge the same freaking day. MPY seems to be the region that governs being hungry. On the contrary, leptin increases activity in the POMC neuron. The decrease in MPY and the increase in POMC simultaneously shut down our hunger. Thank you, leptin. But remember that leptin is only the representation of fat in our body. But if our body wants to increase or decrease hunger throughout the day, it can't rely on it. Fat takes time to generate itself. Therefore, we need another center that can modulate hunger as you eat. And this center comes from our brainstem, more precisely in a place called nucleus tractus solitarius. Can you just take a second and ask yourself, why does science have such complicated name? Seriously, just change it. NTS is able to measure directly the calorie content of food we eat and inform the HT if we have eaten a lot or not enough calories. So it does so by evaluating the stretch in our stomach and other different ways, and then release hormones like cholecystokinin to shut down our will to eat. If you were already low in energy, your HT can order your NTS to open the valves of hunger, making you eat more than usual. If you were very high in energy level, your HT orders your NTS to eat less than usual. HT and NTS work together to make sure the energy in your body, or simply said, the fat, stays once again roughly the same. That's why dieting down is so hard. Your brain tries to bring you back to your energy equilibrium no matter what. No matter what? No, because for the past 50 years, people have been consistently disrespecting the whole system, getting fatter and fatter. There's a reason for that. Our satiety system is biased towards overeating because it's a lot safer to, say, be obese than starving to death. It's so obvious. David, do we even need proof of that? Yes, we do. And Susan Bolt and her colleagues gave us in 1995 one of the strongest insights about what kind of food makes our systems go nuts. The reason turns out to be not only accurate but also very intuitive. So here are the 5 factors making us overeat. 1. The calorie density of food. We learned earlier that the NTS region of our brainstem measures the calorie content of food we eat, and it does so by analyzing how distant the stomach is. The more distant, the bigger the meal, and so probably the bigger the calorie content. So obviously, eating 100 grams of broccoli will make you fuller than 100 grams of chicken wings simply because the broccoli is going to be bigger. 2. Palatability. Indeed, you've probably witnessed that when you're in a buffet, you can significantly outperform your normal eating behavior. How about a dessert? No problem. It may be full of meat and pasta, but there is still place for ice cream. The more palatable a food is, the more your NTS will keep your hunger going. 3. Fat content, which is kind of obvious because for the same amount of carbs, fat contains more than 2 times the calorie. You may oddly find that fat actually makes you feel more full, but that's because fat in their unprocessed form, say nuts or avocado, have plenty of the fiber and other nutrients that make them more satiating. Thanks, fiber. And speaking about fibers, it's actually the fourth factor because the more fiber a food has, the longer this food will stay in the stomach, and obviously, you've guessed it, the more you will feel full. The last but not the least is the protein content. Our gut has the ability to directly measure protein and tempers hunger when food is protein dense. And because 30% of what you eat as proteins is going to be burned during the digestion, increasing the protein content is probably one of the best ways to temper hunger. Now, if you look at these 5 factors and compare them with the kind of food we are processing, you'll see that most of our meals impair the ability of our satiety system to measure calorie. For this reason, having a diet that brings back some of those factors have more chances of helping with our hunger. What you can do is, probably like eating less calorie dense food like vegetable. You can avoid excessively palatable things like chocolate, which has every combination of nutrient dense food, and you can opt for moderately palatable one, but not unsalted boiled potato, please. So you can also eat food that has more fiber dense food, and less add fat. And of course, a good portion of protein during each meal is the best way to temper even more hunger. For example, the paleo diet, which follows most of those advice, has one of the strongest diet adherence. So what does it mean for us? According to study on rats, poor rats, so when we feed them with our calorie dense and palatable diet, they become very obese. But as soon as we change the diet into a less palatable one, fiber rich and so on, they will regain slowly their body weight. It's like their brain has a particular set point that depends on the type of food you eat. Of course, a lot of other factors are going to influence your hunger, and you will have to take them into account. But by understanding how your brain manages hunger and adapting those principles to your diet, you will be on the right track to win the games against your hunger. Because nothing is smarter than how calories matter. Now see you next time. So thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I cannot end this video without talking about the book from Stephen Guyenet, which is the book that inspired me like 90% of what you have heard in this video. The book is called The Hungry Brain, and you can get it on Amazon. It's a lot more detailed than everything I said, and if you want to dive deep on how our brain generates hunger and how to have better techniques to lose weight, you definitely should take a look on his book. I'll link it down below. See you guys.